California's Gold is produced in association with KCET Los Angeles and is seen statewide on California Public Television. This series is endorsed by the California Teachers Association, the California School Boards Association, and the California Library Association. It's one of the tallest buildings west of the Mississippi. It's called the Library Tower, and it literally towers over downtown L.A. It's 73 floors high and stands at 1,018 feet. And for some strange and unexplainable reason, it was the place I spent an afternoon, hanging on a scaffold, talking with window washer Willie Wharton about his profession. All I had to remember while I was up there was not to make any sudden moves and not to look down. Oh boy. Oh boy. Look at that. Well, that was definitely an experience I will never forget. And if you'll remember when Willie and I were up on the side of that building and he was washing windows, he was using one of these. This is a squeegee. They're pretty standard. They're a lot of fun to use. They've been around for years. And through our extensive research, we have discovered that there is a direct relationship between California and the squeegee. In fact, that's what this adventure is all about. And if you're curious about how the squeegee figures into California's history, as always, you're invited to come on along with us as we continue our search together for California's squeegee gold.
Ettore Steccone.
And when you talk about squeegees, you got to talk about the Steccone family because, well, tell us the story about you and your husband and how this all started.
Whatever, I can't remember now. I try.
I think you know the story. You lived it.
Yeah.
Tell us how it all started.
Well, it started like he didn't like what he was using. He was using an old-fashioned, looked like a squeegee, but he didn't like that. So
he was a window washer.
He was a window washer to begin with. So he decided he wanted to have something better to wash a window. So he used to go to wash a window and comes home, go in the garage, and start making a design the way he wanted. And the material that he liked to have made with. So I find a friend that he knew he was able to do it, was a die maker. And so he helped him to make the rod. And then we trying to find the rubber company that would make the rubber. We went from Goodrich to four other ones.
To find the right kind of rubber.
That's right.
So your husband knew what he wanted.
Well,
he wanted a better way to wash windows.
That's right. That's the idea. Finally, we had to move away from the garage because the garage got too small.
And this was the beginning of the squeegee empire, right here.
That's right.
Because basically, your family, now this is the whole family. We got 3 generations here. Right. Mother, daughter, granddaughter, son-in-law, and basically your family holds the patent and is responsible for inventing the modern squeegee as we know it.
Correct. That's
and
it.
What's the difference between the old squeegee and the new squeegee?
Basically, it's a simpler product. It's a lighter product, easier to use. Much handier for the guy that's hanging from the side of the building that's cleaning a window.
Now, we have an old one here, don't we?
Yeah, I believe you do.
Let's hold this one up. This is almost a sacrilege to have this one here.
I don't know if I should be touching it.
But let's hold it up so we can show everybody. Here, hold it for me there. The old one had these screws in it.
Right.
The new one that your father invented, that I'm holding down here, didn't have screws that you would put the rubber in and out with. That was the big advantage,
yes.
wasn't it?
It was a different concept. Where the old one in order to hold the rubber correctly, there were usually two pieces of rubber, one in front and one behind that did the job, and one to hold it steady. With the new one, the shape of the channel is what keeps the rubber firm, and then we have little end clips at the end that eliminate the use of the screws.
Now, how did your dad come up with this? He wasn't an engineer, was he?
No, he was just a stubborn little Italian. That's all he was.
And you helped him wash windows too, didn't you?
Yes, we sure
Did you help him wash?
Yes, we used to go. They were building those what they call track home, and then we used to go. I did the inside, and he did the outside.
With the old squeegee at first.
With that kind of money, we bought presses to make the handle.
Ah.
That's how he funded his business. Their income came from janitorial work and window cleaning work. And with the money that they made, they lived, and he also funded his project, his new squeegee. So basically, they were married in 1932, and the product, I guess, was patented originally in 1936. And so from 1936 on, she helped him do whatever he needed to do.
Wow. So you all actually founded this company. The name of the company is?
Ettore Products.
Ettore Products, and you are responsible for about 70 or 75% of all the squeegees produced in the world.
Just about, yep.
And the word squeegee, we're not even real sure what that is, are we? Where that comes from?
No, there's a couple of different explanations. One that we read was when the English sailors used to clean the water off the decks of the ships when they were at sea, made a funny sound, and it was called a squeegee. So that's squeegee, that's what they would say. Then there's also the thing with the Greeks, the Olympians. They, of course, performed nude, and they used to oil their bodies and remove the excess oil and sweat with a thing that they called a squeegee. So
a little squeegee.
Yeah, so it had some,
a little body
some,
squeegee.
Greek origin, the name. So squeegee isn't something we developed. It's just a word.
But squeegee is something that everybody, when you say the word squeegee today, everybody knows what you're talking about. But your husband, didn't he have a hard time selling it? He had to go to, he went to New York, he
had a hard time selling, but every morning when he was going down to work, he'd bring a squeegee to every window cleaner, and he gave one to everybody. And he said, and they didn't really like it because he thought it was too light. So, but I said, you keep on using it for one day, and you're sure you're not going to go back to the one you've been using right now.
So he would give them out as kind of tests, as kind of samples.
He gave them away, because...
Then he sends some salesmen out to go to different country, to different nations, and selling it. That's how they got to be known.
So it all started basically in your garage.
In our garage.
Now it's worldwide.
Yes, right.
Okay, we've come back into the squeegee factory, and I'm standing here with
Diana Jones.
Who has worked here how many years?
I've been here for 18 years now.
Wow, you came here right out of grammar school.
Oh, I wish, but
absolutely.
Yes.
And your name is
Joellen Hicks.
And you've been here
24 years.
Now explain to me what it is you're doing here.
Well, actually, we take the rubber and we cut it down to the size. We go according to the orders on the board, and we take the rubber and we inspect it for flaws like orange peels and knife marks and cuts and stuff like that.
So any little thing.
Flaw, we cut it out and cut it down to the next size that's available.
So what are you doing? Show me how you do this.
Well, we take the rubber. This is an 18-inch rubber, and we cut the tips off. And now I'm cutting size 16. So I'll take this and I'll just slide it in here and cut it down to there.
Well, this looks pretty old-fashioned here. This is kind of the way it was done
back in the day, huh?
Yeah.
They made the first one.
Your husband made the first one?
First mark.
So you know these ladies.
I started first. I've been doing that for years.
Really?
That's right.
But you remember when they came to the company?
Every one of them. Yeah.
So it really is kind of like a family.
Yes, it is.
A squeegee family.
Yes, it is. We all know each other. We're all very good friends.
Now, this is a very interesting part of the squeegee story because Wendy is feeling a piece of this rubber and you've rejected it.
Yeah, when I find something wrong, and then I cut off and then throw away.
But show me what it was you found wrong.
Gravy. Wavy.
Wavy.
Yeah, there are a million things that can go wrong with rubber. You take a hair off your head, put it on the edge of a squeegee where that hair is, it will leave a streak. So we're dealing with things less than 5 thousandths in diameter. And we've perfected a lot of this, but we still have to go through the traditional fashion of filling every fraction inch of every rubber blade, which represents over 6 million feet a year.
That is amazing that something as small, an imperfection as small as a hair, could show up on the windows. So that's really the key.
Yes.
When your mother-in-law was talking about rubber and how much trouble they had finding somebody to make the rubber and do it correctly.
Right.
That's why she talked so much about that in the first story she was telling us, because this is the key right here.
Right. Rubber is more art than it is science. They call it the black magic of the industry, and the rubber chemists are the secret to this. And Ettore was uneducated. He didn't know exactly how to put it in technical terms, so trying to get people to work with him to get the rubber to where it is today was a major problem. And even today, it's still hard to find people that can make this rubber. So this is part of the secret why we're so successful.
Now you're feeling
When you
it.
see this, the split, it comes like this. And the split has to be perfect.
When you feel this, can you still feel any kind of a little
I
imperfection?
can, so once in a while I come by and see what they're doing.
But you used to do this all the
I do
time.
this, and now they have a pretty good rubber now, you know. But at the beginning, oh, if I could get a 6 or an 8. An 18 was very rare.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's really...
We used to have up, on an average, about 10 to 13% rejection. Today we have less than 1% because of the improvements we've made in the quality. So.
But I still love this. Look at this. This really does look...
Yeah.
It's very old-fashioned.
Yeah, we have looked at other ways of doing this, but this is really still the best way to do it. And it's the heart of who we are. We won't sacrifice anything for anything less than this. So.
You probably had one of these in your garage, didn't
The
you?
oldest one is still here, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
All this talk about rubber, what made your squeegee so revolutionary was that your squeegee made it easier to change the rubber blade.
Yes, one of the important ingredients was that it only took a couple of clips. In the old days, they would have to take out 6 or 7 screws just to remove the one blade and then have to adjust it, where a window cleaner may go through a couple of blades a day.
Ah, so a professional window cleaner, because he would go through so many blades a day, would have to stop each time and screw and unscrew, take the blade out. This patent allowed the window washer just to slip the blade out without any screws at all.
Right. If you're hanging on the side of a building up a ladder, that could be quite time-consuming and difficult to do.
Well, it's such a simple concept, yet it took someone, you know, like your father-in-law who actually cleaned windows to figure out that that was very important.
Yes, in today's world, it may look pretty simple, but the simple things do look difficult till you find out how to do it. So, it's amazing how many products are like that. Once you see it and you go, why didn't I think of this in the first place?
From rubber, we're coming over to the, what is this part of the squeegee called?
This is the channel, and this is a roll forming machine that forms the channel.
Can I pick one of these up? Now, what's so important about this?
The importance of the channel is that the shape of the channel has to be absolute. If the rubber doesn't fit in here correctly, it will lay on its side or won't lay correctly on the glass, and you won't get a good squeegee. Also, that the that the rubber fits perfectly in here, and the amount of rubber that goes over the edge is correct, and that it's absolutely straight. Each one of these has to be perfectly straight. If it's bent, the water will go around.
So this is something that he came up with as well, the engineering of how to get all of this done.
Yeah, see, in this design, we have the original patent, which is still hanging on the wall from 1936, and you will see this exact channel still there.
And you know what's interesting about that? This is something he came up with on his own.
Yes.
just because he was a window washer himself.
Yes.
And he knew what he needed to do his job.
Yeah, it looks like a simple product, but it's amazing where it came from and what is, you know, little education he had that he was able to do all this and do it with his own money without borrowing a dime. So it's an incredible story.
Oh my gosh, they're dumping them in. Now what's the deal here?
This is the cleaning room. We use ball bearishing to polish the products. If you look, this is the way they come in, and this is the way they come out.
Oh boy, this one's a lot shinier.
Yes, it is. We go through over 50,000 squeegees a week, so this is just a little part of the overall.
You're making 50,000 squeegees a week?
Yeah, of all types that
How
we
many did you make in those early days?
Well, I couldn't tell you exactly, but
Not 50,000. Well, let's take a look at what you're doing here. What is this?
This is a ball bearishing machine.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
These are millions of BBs. A lot of products are cleaned this way.
BBs.
BBs. And it's like just millions of little fingers rubbing onto the product. In the old days, we used to use acid, but those were dangerous. This is all biodegradable. All of our water is reprocessed, and we use it over and over.
So the BBs are just churning up around the metal
Yeah.
and polishing it.
Yes, and deburring it, taking any of the rough surfaces off, and then we just put a fine little coating on it, protect it till it's in
Wow.
use. Yeah.
Now, why is it necessary to have them so shiny?
Well, people like to see a nice product, you know. They don't want to buy one that looks like it's already been used. So.
Wow, this is amazing to see this.
that's the dryer.
Yeah,
Dries
this is so amazing. Who would ever think?
There's much involved in cleaning windows.
Yeah.
And it kind of generated itself over the years. Each one of these processes were added on as the company grew. So we're doing about 2,000% more than we did when I first came here in 1965.
Wow.
Yeah. So we learn and we improve. We're in a competitive market. We compete all over the world in over 40 countries. And so we have to remain on the edge of our technology if we want to stay in business. So.
Well, he set the bar high, didn't he?
Yes, she did.
You know?
Yeah.
Two of them set the bar very high.
No, we...
I have a feeling she's still kind of quality control when she comes over. And look,
That's her son. That's her grandson.
her grandson. Okay, now I'm with Pat Murphy, who is the president of the company, and of course Emma, who is one of the co-founders of the company, along with your husband. And we're washing windows, Pat.
But there's an easier way to wash windows than what you're seeing me doing.
Now you're doing it the way that I do it at home with a paper towel and Windex.
And a lot of elbow grease.
Uh-huh.
So rather than do this, the secret to window cleaning, you have a special soap. You put a little in the water. You don't want suds. Suds are not good because it creates film, okay?
Uh-huh.
You put a little in the water.
I feel like we're doing an infomercial here.
No. you take the washer and you make circling motions. It's very simple.
Now that's not a, is that a squeegee?
No, this is a window washer.
A window, this is a scrubber.
That's right. This is what cleans the glass.
Okay, and here's the squeegee.
Here's the squeegee. We'll show it to you two different ways. We'll show you the way the professional would do it. You've seen them all in buildings.
Boy, is that why you're president of the company?
No, they remind me here, I am not going to quit my daytime job, okay? So that's kind of the way.
That's
the
got a whole
profession-
wrist action going
That's
there.
right. But for the homeowner, Huell, it's much simpler, and this is the way we show homeowners the way to do it.
And the deal is to wash it with the mop, with the scrubber first.
That takes
clean
the,
it.
You got it. That takes the dirt off. It suspends the dirt in the
Now
solution.
don't let it dry, because that's a problem, isn't it?
Now,
Okay.
you can just, the way we show homeowners how to clean glass is just simply going from right to left.
In a straight line.
Right into the frame. There's nothing to it. Why don't you try it once?
So you're just putting it right here.
That's right. And just go straight across, lightly.
Oh, and listen to the sound. Oh, I'm pressing too much? But I like the sound. That's where the word squeegee came from.
There you go, right into the frame. Now we can go right below here. Watch this.
Wipe it off.
She knows, too.
She does know.
Here, why don't you try it once?
Here we
Show
go,
us
Emma.
how to do it. You know how to do it.
Okay.
Here we go, Emma. You can wipe the blade.
Okay, so she wipes the blade.
After every pull,
Wait,
you
wait
bet.
a minute. I gotta have this. Okay.
Just right below
I'm
this,
starting
right
like
below
this.
that line.
This
There
is
you
my
go.
gauge, okay? First, I gotta go around in here, all around.
Oh, she can do the whole window.
Yes, she's the expert.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, we got
Very
it
good.
scrubbed.
Okay.
Here, I'll hold this
Now,
for you.
suppose that this is to be the hedge like that.
Right, right there.
I use the tip like this. I make a line. See?
Oh, she's making a line.
No. Clean it out. Then you start with the line. And you go. If you want to go straight, this is the way you go.
Oh,
And you look right.
straight.
You overlap.
She's done this before.
You overlap. You have to overlap, because otherwise you leave a line.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know where you finish, and you go overlap a little bit, see? And you go down.
Wow. And you're not pressing too hard. I
No,
was
you see,
pressing
you
too
don't-
hard.
You don't hear this thing.
Oh.
I cannot see too well,
You're doing great, Emma.
Boy, she does know
She
what
is the master, you bet. She believes in the product.
Something this simple.
Yeah, and people can get it at their hardware store. They have been conditioned thinking that sprays are the way to clean windows. You'd never wash your car with a spray and a rag.
Whatever
So-
you start the window, first you put the tip, so if you start it this way, you go like this,
Yes, ma'am.
you know?
Create a dry
Go
area.
all the way down, and then you start it where it's dry, so you're going to go.
Straight across.
Boy, this is the cleanest window in Oakland right now, I'm telling you. This is great. This is squeegee clean. Well, we're having a little debate here about how to pronounce the name of the company.
Yes, we are.
Your father's name was
In Italian, it's Ettore.
Ettore,
Yes.
and that's the way it was pronounced. Ettore.
Ettore.
But the name of the company, how do most people pronounce it?
We say Ettore. A lot of
Ettore.
people say Ettore or Ettore, the English pronunciation.
Some people say Ettore.
Ettore. Well, the important thing is, whatever way you pronounce it, it was your husband's name.
Right.
And this company has grown from that dream that you had along with your husband and worked with in your little garage. Today it's grown into all of this, and this is it right here. This is one of the first ones right here. And it all goes back, when did all this start?
1936.
1936, and this is the family right here responsible for it all. And we really appreciate you letting us spend a day with you today. Thanks for the food. Can I take some of these with
You
me?
better take the whole thing if you want to.
Thank you very much. We've had a wonderful day. This has been an adventure entitled All You Ever Wanted to Know About the Squeegee and More.
You didn't want to ask.
But it is, but we're afraid to ask. But it is a wonderful story. It's an American success story. It's a California success story. It's a family's success story. And we thank you all for sharing your story with all of us. A story and a product which is very much a part of California's gold. Goodbye, everybody.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Here we are in the rubber department cutting this size 22. And this is a very good rubber. This is size 22, and I'm gonna cut 14. Size 14. I'm cutting 2 sizes.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell Howser, and I sure hope you enjoyed this adventure. If you'd like to see it again or share it with your family or friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library, it's available on video cassette and on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727 and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.